Jesus said, you know, it's difficult to pour new wine in old wineskins. And in doing that, when you introduce new ideas, new perspectives, new ways of doing things, you get a lot of pushback. You get a lot of antagonism towards that because people want what's comfortable and what they know. That's been my biggest challenge is the messiness that comes with revitalization. Week that I arrived, I guess word had circulated that a new pastor was coming, and we had about 100 people in worship. We're now averaging about 125, 135 a week now.
I went to volunteer at the New Life Women's Center to help out with the feedings and stuff. They asked me, they said, could we have the feedings at Sweetwater? And I said, well, I'm new there. So I've just been going there for like 4 months. And I said, I can talk with them about it. So one of the board members, a nice lady, said, we'll do it for a 6-month trial basis. And I looked in the scriptures and Jesus said, feed the poor and watch the lowly, watch out for the lowly. He didn't say for 6 months. So the 6 months came and this church dissolved. And I was left the lone member in the church. And he asked me if I'd be on the transition team from this Sweetwater to Sweetwater campus. And I said, sure, I'd love to help out.
I think right now we're in the visioning and dreaming process. I hope to get a circles program going here with the Cherokee Casino coming in at Murphy. There may be a need for a Gamblers Anonymous. We want it to be kind of a missional community out here, but also a worshiping community.
I've pretty much battled alcohol and drugs since I was in my teens. I went to 10 28-day treatment centers, 3 of the penitentiaries, and both of the state mental hospitals in a 25-year period of time because of just the way that the drinking and everything happened. I ended up homeless when I was in the woods. But I was very resentful with anything to do with God, anything to do with programs, because I had tried them. They didn't work. We had a terrible rainstorm, and it rained. And when it rained, my camp completely out. I only had 2 sets of clothes, so I had no way. So I was like, okay, let me go to this opportunity house. Well, it wasn't like a miraculous, burning bush experience or nothing. But when I went back to my camp, it was the first time I had done something in 6 months other than drinking all day long. And all those people in that house would not have stopped to ask me what my problems were. I'd still be drunk right now. I'd still be homeless. But they believed in me and they gave me enough support, and they didn't baby me, that's for sure. They wanted me to get out there and get it. The hardest part is to see past the outside, because inside is a beautiful story in all of us.
About 20 minutes into the service, one of our fellows that comes to the welcome table showed up, and he walked in the back of the sanctuary and started talking to one of our leaders in our church. And all of a sudden, both of them walk out the side door at the front of the sanctuary. 5 minutes later, right when the children's sermon is starting, here comes one of the leaders of our church and this fellow that comes to the welcome table, pushing in folks in wheelchairs. And this guy works at a group home and comes very faithfully. And it turns out he wanted to come to church so bad, but he had to work. And the only way that he could come to church was if he brought all of the residents with him. So into Hope came 9 middle-aged adults bound to a wheelchair, most of whom couldn't speak, and they worshiped with us, and our congregation responded in a way that was so powerful. The leader that helped them push the folks in came up to me at the end of worship and said, "Todd, did you know about our visitors this week?" And I said, "No, I honestly had no clue and was praying that God would help me get through the message." And he said, "I just think it was a test, that if we want to be the church that God has called us to be, we have to accept people just like this." It might have been the first time that these folks got to come to church in years. One, because someone wasn't willing to take them, but also maybe because there wasn't a church that was willing to accept them. And here, this past Sunday, we worshiped in the midst of fits of screaming, of shouting, of a little boy that was so excited when the music came on. He would stand up and start clapping uncontrollably, and I realized that God had shown up. He encountered the gospel in a powerful way, and as the leader said, if we want to be who we say we are, this is exactly who we need to accept.